a lot of our listeners will hopefully be inspired by that. Like
Hopefully so. Get down, girls. Come out. Come over to engineering. Honestly, it'll be the best decision you've ever made. If you love working with your hands and you love a bit of a chat and seeing customers, for sure, it is definitely the role for you.
Hello and welcome back to our podcast. This is Octopus Energy's Women in Engineering. On today's episode, we have the fabulous Kayleigh here to talk about her progression story. Octopus isn't just a great place for engineers, but it's also full of incredible opportunities. So here to tell that story is Kayleigh. You've been here 5 years now?
Yeah, 5 years. Yeah, it's been a long time. Thanks for having me. I'm excited about this and speaking to everyone about women in engineering and all the great stuff that we can achieve. So thanks.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to have you here. So you started as a smart meter installer.
I did, yeah.
And today you're working as...
Onboarding coordinator, I think, is the official term right now.
Incredible.
So yeah, we've progressed a little bit since joining, which has been fantastic.
Tell us about your journey.
So I've done lots of different sort of journeys throughout the years. When I left school, I joined BT and I was an engineer there. And then found that didn't really suit me very well, moved into chefing, again spent many years in chefing. And then I was looking for a change really, and I love engineering and I love working with my hands. I'm quite a hands-on person. So I sort of fell into it, in all honesty. I found a job advertising for a smart metering engineer and thought, oh, this is great. I'm just going to install one of those little boxes into people's homes. That's
nice
literally
and
what I
easy,
thought it was. And then I realised very quickly, no, we're going to be going on to gas training, electrical training, all of this good stuff, which, like I say, really fitted into my skill set. There was lots of hard learning around that, but again, just the people around me, the support, the teams, the mentors, it meant that I really excelled. I really excelled in engineering and in smart metering. And from there, things just progressed. So I worked at a couple of different companies doing metering, and then I moved into sort of the training world and more of the onboarding world within Octopus. So it's been an exciting journey. It was one of those moments that my manager said, hey, Kayleigh, we've got this great job opportunity. And I was sort of a bit reserved in the beginning, thinking, oh, I'm a bit worried about sitting and talking in front of people. As an engineer, our natural response isn't to be like, woohoo, life of fun of the party. But no, it really fitted with me and I really learnt new skills along the way. And since then, that's literally how it's been. I've literally been... I say to everyone, it's a bit like a game, like a computer game that you play. It's an adventure game. I'm getting in. I started as a novice and then I've collected achievements and skills over the years, and now I'm a fully fledged OES victor as such, and I'm ready for the new quests. So yeah, it's been a crazy ride, but exciting and definitely challenging, and absolutely like the best decision I've ever made moving into the engineering world. For sure.
Amazing. It's funny you should say you just fell into it, because it's what I've heard a lot from other people that have been interviewing, and even from my own story, it's you wasn't necessarily looking for it. Maybe you didn't know the opportunity was there, but suddenly it's there, you're presented with it, and you've turned out to be absolutely incredible.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think it's probably because it's not our natural go-to job skill, for us to fall into these kinds of roles. But I think because of how hands-on and how I work best that way, like I probably couldn't sit behind a desk 24/7 and do that. So it just kind of made sense to go down that engineering route because it fits with my natural skill set that I have. So just being that outgoing kind of person. And if you can't tell, I love a bit of a chat. So love chatting to customers, love seeing all these different people, different walks of life. I've absolutely loved every minute of my journey and super excited to see what the future brings.
So do you want to tell us more about the role that you're doing now?
Yeah, sure. So as I said, I joined as an engineer, and then my manager came to me and said, we've got this great job that we think will fit really well. So now I'm the onboarding coordinator, and basically I am the welcome guide. So anytime somebody joins OES, I onboard them, me and our team onboard them, and I'm basically your your welcome guide. So I'm your first point of contact, your little fun, fresh face to see you on your first day. We organise all of your kit and uniform. We have a whole team that sort of help us liaising with different sort of third parties for uniforms and all of that good stuff. We pull all your tech and all your equipment together. And then we're your support going through the first initial weeks into the company. And yeah, just give you any support and any information, you know, all of your information and company procedures and processes and policies and all of that good stuff. I'm the little go-to, how do I do this, Kayleigh? And yeah, that's pretty much my role, is just looking after people. We also do a lot of other things out with that as well, like training guides and keeping information up to date and all of that good stuff as well, to make sure that we're giving the best journey to our starters, to be fair. And this is one place that is actually, the feedback that we get all the time is like, I've never been onboarded like this at a company before, you know, because we are very caring about our people, not just our customers and obviously our customers, but also the people that work for us. So yeah, we have a bit of a fun onboarding session. People get to spend their first few days with me, and we do games and break it up and do fun things, get your vehicles issued, get your tools issued. So yeah, there's a lot involved in that. We have a big team that help us get that sorted, but I'm the face. I'm the face that you see.
And I know it is a lot, because I used to do this job myself.
Absolutely.
It's busy, it's time consuming, but it is also very rewarding.
It is very rewarding.
That's
yeah.
it. So yeah, I mean, the fact that you've managed to get some time out of your schedule to be here with us today.
It was tight, but we managed it. And funnily enough, that's what we were talking about. So when the job opportunity came up, it was because you'd moved into air source heat pump side of the world and moved on into your own progression. So yeah, I took over from you. So yeah, and great foundations and great start, and it's been great. As much as there are frustrations and things that we like to smooth out, but it's fabulous. I absolutely love my job, and meeting all of the different people that you meet in the different walks of life. Like I say, I love a bit of a chat and meeting different people and seeing how people live and different hobbies, and you get some mad stuff, don't you? When they come in, get some right
I
mad.
always had the biggest buzz at the end of the onboarding session when the engineers just said, wow, like, from what you've delivered today, I'm so excited to work here.
Absolutely.
We get to kind of share the story of Octopus, and yeah.
And getting those people sort of ready and geared up and equipped to go on to the next part of their journeys into their teams and whatever it is that they might be doing, because we sort of deal with everybody from all sort of walks of the business. And it's just great. It's a great rewarding feeling, you know, knowing that that person's well equipped and going on to make huge changes and changing the world a little bit at a time. Everybody's doing their own little bit, and it's amazing to be a part of that journey. And it's amazing, like, I find it really rewarding that I'm a part of that and I'm their first little protocol. And you'll see it like years down the road, and I'm sure you've had it where you'll get like a year down the road, somebody will get in touch with you and be like, hey Kayleigh, do you remember me from onboarding like a year ago? And then they tell you about where they are now, and you're like, well done, man, you're well chuffed for them, because you've sort of seen them start their journey and go through that process.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so obviously you're not in an engineering role anymore, but that is your roots. Can you remember like what inspired you to get into engineering?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I say, I came from a lot of different journeys. So highlighted to me really early on that I work really well with my hands, and honestly, this might sound a little bit nerdy, but I love learning. Like, I love knowledge. I love, especially if it's something that I don't know. And yeah, it's sort of highlighted quite early on, obviously with BT and then going into chefing into these other roles.
Very practical jobs, aren't they?
Very practical kind of work, and highlighted that that's really where my strong suits lie. And like I say, when I sort of came across the job role for smart metering and getting my gas training and all of those sorts of things, there was a little part of me that was like, girls don't do this as a rule of thumb. It's not our go-to. And I really wanted to do something to show people that you can. You know, I've done it a lot with BT and chefing, and you've probably had it as well, where you tell people what you do and they sort of go, really? Are you sure you want to do that? And my dad, bless his little heart, love him to bits. He's quite old-fashioned, and although he's always said, do what you want to do and be who you want to be, there have been a few conversations where he's like, are you sure? Are you sure that this is where you want to go? And part of that really made me want to be like, yes, of course it is. This isn't, for me, I'm one of those, I don't think that there are any real male or female job roles, do you know? I think if you've got the skill set, the knowledge and the determination, commitment to do it, anyone can do any job. I don't feel like we should have any girls or boys or whatever
No,
it might
I
be, you
mean,
know?
it's just a stereotype, isn't it?
It really is, yeah.
But those stereotypes can be real sometimes. I had the same
Absolutely.
thing. So when I told my family I was going in to become a smart meter and apprentice, as much as they supported me, there were also some niggles and some sniggers, like,
Yeah.
are you sure? Like, why would
You
you
sure about
choose that
this?
career? I think my uncle definitely laughed when I told him I was getting a van and tools. So it was, even within my own like personal bubble, there's expectations for you to go in one direction as opposed to the other. So
Absolutely,
you kind of
yeah.
have to fight them all off, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, becoming a smart meter engineer, it's not, I wouldn't say it's like easy learning. I think if it's something that you want to do, it's definitely, you know, you need to commit to it. Like my actual apprenticeship coming into the business was, you know, 18 months, and it was a month at college, a month at out on patch, what we call out on patch, just when you're out and about on the tools, actually doing the job with an engineer. So I did that for 18 months, a month at college, a month out on patch. And it's a lot of learning. It's a
It
lot of new
is,
skill
yeah.
sets. And I don't know about you, there were a few times when my mentors would have a little giggle, especially when I have to say to him, he's like, Kayleigh, go and get that drill. We're going to drill into this concrete floor. And I was like, all right, okay, cool. Go and get the drill. And he's like, right, just drill the holes for the bracket. Da, da, da. I was like, all right. And I'm just standing looking at this drill. And he's like, have you ever used a drill before? And I was like, not at all. Don't even know what I'm looking at. Do you know what I mean? And he was like, are you for real? And I was like, yeah, for real. Never touched a drill before. So we had a little banter and we had a good laugh at the fact that I've never used a drill before. But
But the
yes,
training, because I had the exact same experience, it tells you how to do the job, as in, you know, this goes here and that goes there, but it doesn't, there's no hands-on, is there? So that's out in the field.
that's out in the
And
field,
our
yeah.
mentors did have to teach us that.
Yes, they did have to teach us probably a few more things that they don't have to teach, say, a male, maybe, because they've been in construction or they've been in building or they've been in something sort of that kind of world anyway, you know. So yeah, it was definitely a intriguing long journey into metering, and like I say, it was just the best experience. It was a lot of learning, it was a lot of hard work, but absolutely one of the best experiences of my life was going back to college and relearning and retraining, and the support and the guys that I don't know if you probably feel the same, but the people that I learned and I trained with in college, they're still my best friends now, you know, like we've gone through this whole journey together, that, you know, we've got this real support system between us, you know, of helping each other out and just being support for each other,
Yeah.
you know, in these situations. So yeah, it's been a real long, intriguing, fun journey, to be honest with you. And I don't know about you, there are still days where I go, oh, I do miss being on the tools sometimes, you know, like we
Yeah, I
say, on the
still get
tools.
that.
There's some days where you're like, it'd be great if I was on the tools now, you know. And then there are those other days where you're like, I'm glad I'm not on the tools today when it's snowing outside
Yeah.
and all of
Snowing,
that good
cold,
stuff.
windy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I don't. I have to say I'm grateful for my progression and moving on. But yeah, just it's an absolute experience. Um, and customers, and I think there's a real misconception, like we were saying, about it being a stereotype, because I haven't actually had that many kind of issues around coming into training or being a female and all of that sort of thing. There've been a few customers that might be like, "Oh, a lady! I was
Yeah.
expecting the gas man," and you're like, "Yeah, that's me. Last time I checked." But yeah, so it's actually been a phenomenal journey. It's been
Sounds like it's
exciting.
been really positive
It
for
has been
you.
really positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you, off the top of your head, you can't think of any kind of setbacks that you might have had, or just something where being a female has held you back in any way?
Not at all. Not at all. Funnily enough, I feel like I haven't really had that many blockers. Firstly, the support team, like the support that you have around you, your family, your friends, all the people, my mentors, my trainers. You know, I think this might sound a little bit silly, but I feel like I had a bit of an advantage being a lady, because people were really wholeheartedly invested in you achieving your goals and getting you where you needed to be. And if we needed to spend an extra hour at the end of the day in college and go through something that I didn't quite understand, or people were just more than happy to
Mm.
jump in and dive in and be like, yep, cool, we're going to do this, we're going to get you where you need to be and support you in that. So yeah, I haven't really had a lot of blockers. Like I say, I've had a couple of customers that have been a lady, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, but a lot of the time there as well, you get a lot of, hey, you go, girl, like,
Absolutely.
I didn't get a ticket once because the lady was like, you go, girl. Just, she was like, I was parked up outside a customer's house and I was working in a box outside and I saw a ticket lady and I said, oh, will you ticketing me? And she said, not you. And it was a car behind me. And I
Oh,
was
that's
just like, you
brilliant.
go, girl. I was like, thanks, winning at life, Didn't want a ticket today.
Have you got any advice for new starters out there or women that are considering getting into the industry? What advice would you give them?
Absolutely. I would say the best bit of advice that I can give anybody who's coming into an engineering world, commit, commit, commit. Don't do it half-heartedly. Just commit to the learning, commit to the programs, commit to putting that effort in and get the support around you, your family, your friends, your other trainees that are with you in your classes, your mentors, and just really be prepared to have the open communication and discuss things. And if you do have blockers or setbacks, discuss it, raise it, let's push forward. How do we fix it, resolve it? So I would just say commit to the process. And honestly, if I can do it, anyone can do it. If any females are out there doubting themselves, thinking I could never do a job like that, I am literally living proof that you absolutely can. You just have to commit to it and put that effort in, and you'll get there. You'll get there. If I can, you definitely can, for sure.
Absolutely. And obviously, you've got a quite a unique progression story into the training coordinator role. Are there any other kind of routes that people can progress within the company?
Oh, yeah, loads. Yeah, loads of different career paths. One of the benefits of my role is engineering
Mhm.
because we've come from that background. So we really had a close affinity to what somebody in that world would need when they on board with us or come and training and things like that. So it really gave me an added benefit. But there are so many different types of roles that you can go into, even within engineering. Obviously, if we're looking at energy, looking at Octopus, there are many different roles. You've got solar, heat pumps, smart metering, battery storage, there's lots of different roles within that. But you've also got your mechanical engineering and all of these other sort of engineering ports that you can go down. And then within that, within a business, you've got all of these other teams that you can join, fleet teams, stock teams, all of these other sort of areas that all portray into engineering and making that flow and making it work, scheduling and all sorts of different roles that you can potentially see yourself going into because you've had this first initial foundation, if you like, and it really gives you a step up or an added plus in your job opportunities because you've done the role and so you know exactly what's needed beyond managers, all sorts of stuff. That's people, when you think about engineering, you think about the actual engineer themselves, but there is a lot that goes out with that, with scheduling and vehicle, even just vehicle maintenance in itself is a huge task when you have a big business. So, and everybody plays their little part. We're like one huge little team that just pulls together to get all of these things done. So absolutely, the opportunities are just endless, and it depending on your skills and where you want to be and what your career goals are, there's definitely opportunities for you to go into many, many, many different sort of job roles within energy or within engineering. Absolutely. And there's always training.
Yeah.
When you've done the role for a certain length of time, you can then train people to do that role as well. So there's lots and lots of different opportunities within it, I think, for sure.
That sounds absolutely incredible, and I think a lot of our listeners will hopefully be inspired by that. Like you
Hopefully
say,
so. Get down, girls. Come out. Come over to engineering. Honestly, it'll be the best decision you've ever made. If you love working with your hands and you love a bit of a chat and seeing customers, for sure, it is definitely the role for you. People have asked me, what do I need, like, as a person to do a role like that, to do engineering? And all I say to people is a great attitude. That's all you need is a great attitude. If you've
that's
got the
it.
right attitude and you love a bit of a chat and you love meeting people and you love seeing and you love working with your hands and doing something, I don't know about you, but I feel super proud about my journey and where I've come from and all of the things that I've achieved, especially being a woman within the industry doing it because, you're kind of proving to everyone that you can do it as well. It's not, and I think that there's a misconception around, oh, well, it's a man's job and you probably might have a lot of blockers and things like that. But you definitely, I haven't experienced that. Not within Octopus world. I mean, I have many years ago when I worked for previous companies, definitely butted heads with a few gents over should you be doing this role and things like that. But certainly not in any recent times. Do you know what I mean? We're talking 20 years ago maybe, but not now. Not now. In fact, I actually think people go a bit more above and beyond to support and to get you where you want to be. And like I say, just commit. Just absolutely commit. Make sure you have a great attitude and talk to the people around you, and you will get where you want to be, you know, and it'll be the best thing you've ever done. And it'll open up so many doors and so many different routes that you can go down for career progression and everything else. So absolutely, I feel like if you're out there, come and have a look, come and check it out. It's
Yes,
great.
it's definitely the place to work, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
sure.
Octopus as a whole, I'm a bit biased, but
I think we all are, but
I'm definitely
it's a
a bit
great company.
biased. But they are an amazing company to work for, and I literally, it's a career for life. Wouldn't see myself working anywhere else for this role, for sure.
Incredible. Well, thank you so much for coming in today
No,
and
thank
having
you
a
for having
chat.
me.
It's been really great. So yeah, everyone, thank you so much. This has been Women in Engineering, and this has been Kayleigh.
Thanks, guys.
Really inspirational stories.
Thanks.
So I will see you next time for the next episode of Women in Engineering at Octopus Energy.